Let's set the scene. You are sitting at your desk, coffee in one hand, 18 tabs open in your browser. You've just typed, "Where should I incorporate my business in 2025?" And now you are deep in the rabbit hole. You've got videos about Cayman Islands, tax tricks. You have Reddit threads full of Estonia fans, and that one sketchy blog recommending a country you've never heard of and can't even pronounce. If that's you, just breathe. You're not alone, because let's be honest, when you're building a business, especially as a solo founder, a small agency, an e-commerce hustler, or someone launching a SaaS from your spare bedroom, where you incorporate can feel intimidating. And it's not just about taxes, it's about legal headaches, banking nightmares, paperwork that makes your brain melt, and that nagging question in the back of your mind, wait, am I accidentally breaking international law? So today we are cutting through the confusion. No fluff, no private jet required, just a smart, realistic guide for entrepreneurs who want to play smarter in 2025. We are walking through the countries that are actually great for small and medium businesses, the ones that makes your life easier, not harder. And by the end of this video, you will know where you can legally pay less tax, which countries are truly friendly to online businesses, what it takes to get started, and which places sound good on paper but come with big gotchas. And no, this isn't just for big corporations. This is for the freelancer who just hit 100k euro for the first time, the boutique agency juggling clients across 3 continents, the Shopify seller scaling past side hustle territory. So let's make sure you're building that business on the right soil. I'm Michael, lawyer, economist, founder, and someone who spent way too many hours helping entrepreneurs figure out where on earth they should register their company. I run a firm called PREZO, links down below. We help small and mid-sized businesses to structure smarter, grow across borders, and stay compliant without getting buried in red tape or tax chaos. Each year we work with over 100 companies, tech startups, e-com sellers, and more. Trust me, choosing where to incorporate is one of the most powerful and more misunderstood decisions you'll make as a founder. That's why I made this video, to help you cut through the hype, skip the traps, and find the country that actually works for you, not just for someone offshore mega fun, So if you're trying to scale globally, keep more of your profits, or just launch without losing your mind, you're in the right place. Let's get back to it, okay? Let's be real. One of the first things that pushes entrepreneurs to start looking beyond their home country isn't adventure, it's taxes. Because every euro, dollar, or dirham you don't send to the tax office, that's more you can invest in your team, your product, or, finally pay yourself something that doesn't feel like unpaid internship. But here's the part most YouTube videos skip. Not every low-tax country is a smart choice. Some look amazing in a headline and turn into a Kafka novel when you try to open a bank account. So let me walk you through 5 countries that actually work for small and medium-sized businesses. Places where tax is low, the rules are clear, and you're not expected to own a yacht just to qualify. United Arab Emirates. When people first hear about the UAE's, the tax system, the reaction is often, wait, 0 tax? What's the catch? The catch is admin, not loopholes. The UAE has built itself into a legitimate, fast-growing global hub for entrepreneurs. We are talking free zones designed specifically for small businesses. If your business brings in less than around $100k a year in profit, you may pay 0 corporate tax, completely legal. And on top of that, there is no personal income tax. But you will need to set up through a free zone, get a license, maybe rent or a desk or a virtual office. Banking can be a little tricky if you are not a resident, and setup costs usually land somewhere between $1,500 and $5,000 depending on your structure. Still, if you are building a real long-term business and want to a tax system that rewards reinvestment, the UAE offers one of the cleanest options out there. Just make sure to work with a local advisor. Navigating free zones solo can get overwhelming. Estonia. the digital playground for global founders. Estonia isn't just e-government, it's founder-friendly government. Their e-residency program lets you start and manage a fully legal European business without ever stepping foot in the country. The real game here is the tax model. You only pay corporate tax when you withdraw profits. So if you are reinvesting everything into a product, growth, or content, you are not taxed on it. It's built for SaaS builders, solopreneurs, and remote-first teams who want a lean, compliant setup that works anywhere in the world. Of course, there is some fine print. Once you start paying out dividends, you'll pay 20%. And opening a traditional Estonian bank account can be tough unless you are physically there. If your business is remote and you are not pulling out your profits right away, Estonia gives you a huge runway. It's a system designed to get out of your way until you are ready to cash out. Singapore is the gold standard if you are aiming to scale. It has one of the most efficient business environments in the world. Plus, credibility that investors and clients take seriously. Taxes are reasonable, like 4.25% on your first $100K in profits if you qualify for the startup exemption, and 17% after that. You will need a local director. Many international founders use a nominee that usually costs around $10,000 to $1,500 a year. Startup costs can add up, and banks may ask for real business activity before opening an account. But if you are growing fast, planning to raise capital, or want a safe and serious legal base for a remote team, Singapore really delivers. It's not the cheapest, but it's built for longevity. Hong Kong has long been a favorite for global entrepreneurs. It's fast to incorporate, the tax rate is competitive, around 8.25% on the first $250K on profit, and foreign sourced income may not be taxed at all. For many years it was like the go-to launchpad for e-commerce, consulting, and Asia-based digital business, but lately some founders have hit friction. Banking has become more selective, and with shifting political dynamics, some companies are starting to ask whether Hong Kong still offers the kind of long-term stability they actually need. So, if your setup is simple and you are using fintech tools for banking, Hong Kong remains a powerful option. Just go in with eyes open, especially if your business needs to be investor-ready or highly regulated. Let's talk Cayman. Yeah, the taxes are literally 0%. Corporate income, capital gains. And yes, the legal infrastructure is strong and investor-friendly. But Cayman isn't really built for early-stage startups or solo founders. The jurisdiction shines when you're managing a large investment fund or setting up a holding structure or something like that. For everyone else, it's actually a steep climb. Setup alone can cost several $1,000s. Annual compliance is complex and banking is tough. Many banks simply don't work at all with Cayman entities unless you are ready bringing serious assets to the table. If you are managing millions or running a regulated fund, it's great fit. But if you are just a business that's starting, there are better ways to go. Alright, let's zoom out. If you want a PDF file with description of all of those countries and more, you can find it at the link in the description below. So, what's the best move, right? If you are bootstrapping, Estonia or UK, it might be perfect for you. If you are scaling and want credibility, Singapore wins. If you want pure tax freedom and can afford setup costs, UAE delivers. But always ask yourself, can I open a bank account there? Can I stay compliant without needing a tax wizard? And is this structure going to work with how I actually run my business? So now let's focus on the easiest countries to incorporate in 2025. Okay, so maybe tax isn't your main concern. Maybe you just want to get your business off the ground without fighting government portals, fax machines, and 5 layers of bureaucracy. Good news, there are countries where you can start a legit business online in less than a day for less than a dinner out. No visa, no local partner, no printer. Let's walk through 5 countries, 5 best options for fast, simple, no-nonsense incorporation in 2025. The first candidate is Estonia. If you are the kind of founder who loves clean systems, digital everything, and zero paper cuts, Estonia might just be your dream country. Through its e-residency program, you can start and run a fully legal EU company without ever visiting in person. You apply online, they send you a secure digital ID, and suddenly you are a business owner in one of the most tech-forward nations in Europe. The process is streamlined. You can register your company in a day or two, file documents online, sign things digitally. It's like starting a business inside a well-coded app. And the costs? Incorporation runs you about €265 and annual admin fees can be as low as 50 if you work with lean service providers. Now, there is a problem a little bit with banking. So most residents rely on fintech tools like Wise or Pioneer or Revolut. It's not a deal breaker, but it's worth knowing upfront. If you are remote first, building something digital and want a setup that scales quietly in the background, Estonia got your back. Just make sure to apply for a residency a few weeks before you need to launch it because it takes a bit of time. United Kingdom, yes. The UK still loves paper forms and tea breaks, but somehow Companies House is one of the most efficient government platforms in Europe. You can set up a fully legal UK limited company online like in under an hour. It costs less than a pub lunch. And you don't need to live in the UK, know the Prime Minister, or submit a blood sample. So there is no local director required too. For foreign ownership is totally fine. And UK companies are still widely trusted, especially for e-commerce agencies and B2B services. Now the tax rate. It's not the lowest. Corporate tax starts at 19% and can climb up to 25% depending on your profits. And if you need a UK bank account, it might get a bit tricky without a local address. So luckily, fintechs like Revolut, Business or Wise fill the gap for a lot of founders. So if you are looking for a fast, cheap and globally respected place to incorporate, it's tough to beat. Just don't expect the weather to be as friendly as the setup process. Singapore is where you go when you want to build something serious. You can incorporate online usually in 1-2 business days. The rules are clear. The government websites are actually helpful. And the infrastructure, legal, digital, financial, is rock solid. But this isn't the leanest option. If you are a non-resident, you will need to appoint a local director, which usually means hiring a nominee for around $1,000 up to $1,500 per year. Incorporation costs start at around $300. Annual compliance can cost another $500 up to $1,000. So the trade-off, it's investors, banks, and clients tend to take a Singapore-based company seriously. If you are planning to scale, raise money, or do business across Southeast Asia, Singapore brings big-time credibility. So in short, if your business is already making money or aiming for serious growth, Singapore's structure makes sense. Just be ready for the price tag that comes, with doing things the professional way. So the United States. For many global founders, incorporating in the US is all about the access. Access to Stripe, access to PayPal, access to that magical moment where your client sees ink after your company names and says, nice. States like Delaware or Wyoming have turned incorporation into a well-oiled machine. You can file online, get your docs in a day or two, and you don't need to be a US resident or citizen. Costs vary by provider, but a simple LLC setup will usually run you about $19 up to $300. You will also need a registered agent, basically a local mailing address for official notices, usually another 50 or $150 per year. But here's the catch. If you don't owe US taxes, you still have to file the US tax forms. That means keeping an eye on deadlines, forms and fillings, even if you're operating entirely from abroad. can be a little bit tricky. That said, if your business is global and you want access to US payment processors and tools, it's a powerful move. Just know this thing, it's easy to start, but it's not set it and forget it. So, Dubai. Dubai is quickly becoming a go-to base for digital founders who want to go global and keep more of what they earn. You can now incorporate in UAE free zone as a 100% foreign owner without needing a local partner. Some zones even let you do it all online. It's streamlined, it's fast, and for many entrepreneurs it comes bundled with a visa, office space, and a business license. Setup usually takes like 3 to 7 days, business days of course, and prices start around 1,500, but can go higher depending on what you need. Annual fees and compliance are typically around the same ballpark. This isn't the cheapest launch, but it is one of the most forward-thinking and tax-efficient. 0% corporate tax on your first 100K in profit, no personal tax, and a massive network of remote-first business owners doing exactly what you're doing. If you're ready to go global and maybe even live somewhere sunny while you're at it, Dubai gives you a structure that's remote-friendly and scalable. So let's wrap it up. If you want fast and cheap, go UK or Estonia. If you care about long-term scale and credibility, Singapore is your play. Need tax efficiency with global reach? Dubai brings both, but it's not the cheapest. And if you want just like access to Stripe and US tools, Delaware or Wyoming get the job really done. So biggest tip, start simple. Choose the setup that fits your next 12 months. Not your dream exit 5 years from now. You can always upgrade, right? Just don't let paperwork kill your momentum. So, best countries for remote and digital businesses in 2025, because your office isn't wherever your laptop lands, right? So, let's be honest. Business in 2025 doesn't look like it did a decade ago. You're not renting office space, you're not printing brochures, and you're definitely not commuting just to answer emails in a cubicule. Today, your business might live entirely online. You are shipping Shopify orders from your kitchen. You are coaching clients over Zoom or running a SaaS from your laptop between Lisbon, Bali, and your in-laws' guest room. So, if the business is remote, shouldn't your company structure somehow reflect the two? Let's look at the countries that actually understand this. The ones that don't just tolerate remote businesses, they are built for them. Estonia is still the OG in this game. Their e-residency program lets you open and run a real European company without ever stepping foot there. It's digital first, tax smart, and if you are reinvesting profits instead of pulling them out, you might pay zero corporate tax. It's like someone finally build a government that thinks like a developer. If you are like remote first, solo, or building SaaS on a tight budget, Estonia gives you room to grow with minimal bureaucracy. Then there is Portugal. And yeah, it's not just about beaches and pasta de nata. For years, it's been a quiet magnet for freelancers, consultants, and founders who are like more than just tax perks. They want a great place to live and build. The tax regime is changing, but the fundamentals stay pretty strong. Good internet, low living costs, startup-friendly culture, and just enough sunshine to curb burnout. If you want your company to live where you live and you are doing remote work for clients abroad, Portugal makes it easy. Dubai is totally different play. It's not laid back, but it's a pro-business to the core itself. The government isn't just welcoming digital entrepreneurs, they are like designing systems for us. Zero personal tax, zero corporate tax up to 100K, and free zones that let you set up entirely remotely if needed. If you are scaling fast and want a tax-optimized base, with the option to relocate, Dubai is serious. You can even get a visa tied to your business and surround yourself with founders who are playing to win. And then there is Georgia. Nope, not the US state. We are talking about the small country at the edge of Europe and Asia that's quietly becoming a haven for early stage founders. 1% tax for small businesses, simple company information, and actual ease when it comes to banking and compliance. So, if you are scrappy, solo, or just starting to monetize, Georgia punches away above its weight. Lastly, Singapore. Again, not the cheapest, but definitely one of the most respected. Even if your business is fully remote, being a Singapore-based sends a message, especially to investors, clients, and partners. If your revenue is strong and you are aiming for long-term international scale, Singapore gives you structure, trust, and legal muscle. So whether you are solo dev in Berlin or a coach in Bali, or a remote team scaling out of Slack channels and spreadsheets, your company doesn't need a corner office, but it does need a smart foundation. So next up, we'll break it all down with some final tips to help you choose the right setup based on where you are going, not just where you are right now. Ready? Let's wrap it up. All right, let's land the plane. You've just seen the best countries in the world to incorporate a business in 2025. Some are tax havens with a twist, some are digital playgrounds, some are about credibility. But here is the truth that no incorporation and ad will tell you. It's not about picking the best country. It's about picking the right one for you. So here is the cheat sheet founder to founder. If you are a remote SaaS dev still running ops from your coffee shops, Estonia's you see your quiet, reliable co-founder, digital first, no drama. If you are building toward investors, pitching big clients, Singapore gives you the legal muscle and credibility to back it up. If you are bootstrapping hard but thinking global, the UK or the US will get you moving fast and cheap. And if you are ready to optimize tax and don't mind some admin, Dubai, it's not just shiny buildings. It might be your strategic edge. So, no matter your size, the right setup gives you the leverage. If this helped, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments where you're thinking of incorporating this here. I read every comment. Let's build smart, not just big, okay? See you in the next one.